The 3D Chamber Challenge, JCVAP vs Puffco, let's go. For this challenge we have a number of categories: the battery saver test, the vapor production test, the flavor conservation comparison test, the heat up time comparison test, the cleaning maintenance contrast test, the atomizer connection detected test, and the mobile usage comparison test. For the battery savers test, the JCVAP 3D ICA chamber lost. This is because the JCVAP 3D ICA chamber has two coils for the coil system, which makes it so it draws more battery power, which is much better for a couple of other categories which we'll go over, but the Puffco 3D chamber has definitely won it as one coil system, which makes it very efficient for the battery savers test. Next challenge category is the vapor production test, and as I said, the JCVAP 3D ICA chamber would win in some other categories. This is one of them. The vapor production test is definitely a winner for the 3D ICA from JCVAP. This is because of the two coil heating system, which does drain the battery but does increase the vapor production, as well as a number of other categories which we'll be going through. Next, the flavor conservation comparison test. When it comes to the flavor conservation comparison test, the JCVAP 3D ICA chamber clearly wins. This is because the chamber is insert swappable. You can get a titanium, aluminum nitride, silicon carbide, ruby. You can kind of customize it, change it up based on what your preferences are on heat retention. While flavor conservation is great with the 3D ICA from JCVAP, the heat up times are fairly atrocious. The 3D chamber from Puffco clearly wins this with an 8-second heat up time, while the JCVAP 3D ICA chamber takes approximately 30 to 40 seconds depending on your heat profiles. Of course, you never want to push over 500 unless you really want to get gobsmacked on a super heated session, but the 3D chamber clearly wins this. Moving on to the next category, the cleaning maintenance contrast test, which the 3D chamber is winning all day, every day. Easiest chamber period to ever clean. Get one before you get anything else. The 3D ICA from JCVAP is clearly something that does take some tinkering when it comes to maintenance cleaning. You have to do some major in-depth cleaning with some brass brushes, as well as a couple other things which we'll have some other tutorials on in some separate videos. It is clear as day that the cleaning maintenance contrast test, the 3D chamber from Puffco, wins it. If you're wondering how to deep clean your 3D chamber from Puffco, we have a video on it on the channel. Check it out. If not, check out that 3D ICA from JCVAP. That middle coil is pretty dirty. You can clean it. Takes a lot of brass brushing and Q-tip ISO dunked swabbing, but it can be cleaned, and we'll be doing further tests on it for other ways to clean it. Now for the atomizer connection detected test, I don't have any preference towards either one of them. I think both of them are pretty finicky. That's mostly because Puffco has the 3-pin bottom bayonet threading system for the atomizers. This needs to be fixed with longer brass bottom pins, at least in my opinion. I might be wrong. Throw something in the comments if you think it's something else that needs to be changed, but in general, those are my thoughts. It's a tie. Nobody wins this category. But if you have any questions about the white and red ambulance light, the white flashing light, or some other issue, we probably have a video available for you on the channel. Just do a simple search and you should find it, no matter JCVAP 3D ICA or Puffco 3D. Now moving on to the final challenge, the mobile usage comparison test. This is actually the reason why you'd want to get a Puffco Peak Pro in the first place, and with that, the 3D chamber from Puffco wins it by a long shot, mostly because an easy to clean system. No matter if you have to put it away or tilt it and have a little bit of overspill, you don't have any deep cleaning issues where you have to do some maintenance. Beyond that, the battery is saved for when you're on the go, so you don't have to worry about getting to a charger. You'll get about 35 sessions compared to 12 out of the JCVAP 3D ICA chamber. When comparing these two facts between the battery saver that you get with the 3D chamber from Puffco as well as the heat up times, you do get a little bit of less vapor production as well as flavor, but in that it really doesn't matter to me at the end, as long as it is convenient and it is working as much as it can to keep everybody in the session going. Beyond each challenge category, let me give a general review for each chamber. Getting back to the JCVAP 3D ICA chamber, I'll say that it is definitely something that you'd want in your arsenal for your home body blasting. For somebody that might want to have a whip or something at home that would be hooked up to it, this is something that you definitely want. But for on-the-go mobility, the 3D Puffco chamber wins in too many categories to be ignored for the mobile usage and being portable, which is actually the main reason why you'd want a Puffco, in my opinion, with a travel glass and a journey bag. Don't forget that. If you want a chamber that you definitely have to worry about less, you want a Puffco 3D chamber. If you want something that's a little bit more tinkering but will give you much more vapor production flavor but less battery, you definitely want to go with the JCVAP 3D ICA chamber. But I definitely implore you to get a 3D chamber from Puffco first before you take any adventure into the 3D ICA or any ICA chambers. I say this because there's nothing more annoying than having a coil that needs to be cleaned with a brass brush and all that, and sometimes it's just nice to be able to have a battery that lasts more than 12 sessions, although you do get a higher vapor production and flavor production out of the JCVAP 3D ICA chamber. I do say that sometimes, you know, it's just really not enough battery to go around depending on your total head count for your session. Now guys, take that information and fly and do whatever you want to do. I would say get that 3D Puffco chamber first. Other than that, like this video, subscribe to the channel, become a member, support the work that we do that YouTube does not allow us to do beyond that. Come stop by for a session on our Tuesday, Thursday live streams, which will be turning into Wednesday live streams every week through the summer, going back to Tuesdays and Thursdays for the fall. We'll be doing some super special members only sweepstakes, but as always, we'll be doing the general viewer sweepstakes at the beginning of each stream. The channel has also just published a Puffco coloring book with a bunch of comedic cannabis facts and trivia in it, so feel free to check that out and support the channel. Beyond all that, I thank everyone for the creative motivations behind this content, which will be creating much more in the future. Stay elevated until next time, and peace out.